Are we live? It looks like we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Pop Culture Asylum. I'm your host, Gabriel. I hope everyone is having an incredible day. And it's Wednesday. You know what that means. AEW Dynamite review. And what can I say? Like, it was a really, really great show tonight. I really like this show. Like, there was two things that I didn't really like, but we will get to that once we get to that. But personally, if I were to compare the two nights, personally for me, I think night two is much better than night one, but that's just my opinion. But I thought tonight was an incredible show, especially the main event. The main event was incredible. And I will go into detail into that as well. But enough of me talking. Let's get this review underway. So, we start off tonight's show of New Year's Smash with a grudge match, a brutal grudge match, as the Bastard Pack goes one on one against the Mad King, Eddie Kingston. And of course, Pack is being accompanied by his Death's Triangle, Pentagon Jr. and Ray Felix, and Eddie Kingston is being accompanied by the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny. And this match delivered. This wasn't like your technical classic masterpiece. Like, this was a fight. This was two men beating the living shit out of each other, and I loved every second of it. And there was like one dive, but other than that, like every move was like it had like purpose, like brutal punches, brutal kicks. Like, I loved every second of it. Was it perfect? No, but I thought it was a great brutal grudge match. Two men that absolutely can't stand each other. Like, already, like, this rivalry has been pretty interesting ever since it started, and I loved every single second of it. Such such an incredible rivalry between Archer, Death's Triangle, and Eddie Kingston's family. Such an interesting, cool storyline. And I thought this was an incredible way to start the show. And plus, like, don't get me wrong, I love tag team wrestling. I really do. But like lately, they've been doing tag team matches to open up the show. And don't get me wrong, usually they just do a great job with these tag team matches, but sometimes they go a little bit overboard. But that's just my opinion. So I thought it was a fresh it was a breath of fresh air seeing a one-on-one matchup starting off the show and not a tag team match. So I thought that was awesome. Pac picks up the victory over Eddie Kingston with the Black Arrow. Then after the matchup, Pac did his ring to Saturn submission hold onto Eddie Kingston. Of course, the family tried to help him. Dead Triangle got into the ring. They were about to clash, but then all of a sudden, Lance Archer came to the ring, and of course, the family, Eddie Kingston, the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny, all retreated. And of course, Lance Archer and Pac, you know, they did a face to face, which I think they are okay. So Lance Archer and Pac face off, talking crap to each other. And then, of course, Lance Archer just leaves. So I can see them either going two ways with this. Either number one, they're doing a Lance Archer versus Pac program in the future, which I would not mind that. That would be incredible. Or they might do like a big, like 4-on-4, like street fight, like Lance Archer and Death's Triangle versus Eddie Kingston's family. And of course, they don't have like a four-person, but I'm sure they will find someone in like a street fight or some sorts. I feel like I feel like they're going ahead with like the second thing I said, but like there's so many ways they can go with this, and obviously of course, there's still some bad blood. Like, there's still some unfinished business between Lance Archer's Death Triangle and Eddie Kingston's family. But whatever directions they go, I'm going to be excited for it because they have been doing a great job with this storyline so far. It's chaotic. It's interesting. A lot of amazing characters, like amazing stuff with this storyline, and I cannot wait for the future of this storyline. And obviously, this storyline is not over. We still got some unfinished business between all the parties involved. So that was a great start. Pac picks up the victory over Eddie Kingston. Then after that, we got a matchup between Chuck Taylor, going one-on-one against Miro. And if Chucky T loses, he is Miro's and Kip's butler until the wedding at the next AEW special, Beach Break. Now, I'm not going to lie. I was initially okay with the rivalry between best friends and Kip Sabian and Miro, but I feel like it dragged way too long. Like, usually, like, their storylines don't drag as much, but I feel like with the best friends versus Miro and Kip Sabian, I feel like they dragged this way too long. Now, I will give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt because Trent is legit hurt and he's going to be out for a while. He did suffer an injury, and a part of me kind of thinks that if Trent didn't get hurt or got injured, then the storyline would have finished earlier, or maybe it didn't. I'm not sure. I'm just going by my observation, but yeah, this rivalry has dragged way too long, and I just hope that at the next AEW special, Beach Break, it ends. No more, no more best friends versus Miro and Kip Sabian. So, but other than that, I thought it was a really good matchup between Chuck Taylor and Miro. Miro basically destroyed him, and but the only thing that I would give AEW this for this storyline is that they kept Miro as a monster. Miro is still undefeated in AEW. He hasn't lost one match, not one, so far in AEW, which is a good thing because for all the people that's saying, "Oh, Miro is buried in AEW. Oh, Miro is buried," calm down. He hasn't even lost a match in AEW yet. And all the matches he is in so far, he has been dominating. Like, just tonight, Miro dominated Chuck Taylor. So, guys, Miro is fine for right now. Okay? But Miro picks up the victory over Chuck Taylor, which means that Chuck Taylor is now the butler for Miro and Kip Sabian, basically for the next month until the next AEW special, Beach Break, which Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford will finally have their wedding. And just like I said, I really hope and pray that this is like what come the special Beach Break, AEW Beach Break, like this storyline ends, this rivalry ends, okay? Because it's just dragging way too long. So that's what I got to say on that. Then after that, we get an interview with Matt Hardy and Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn, Private Party. And of course, last week, Private Party signed a couple of contracts given to his manager, Matt Hardy. And of course, Private Party has been doing well lately, but Matt Hardy, like every single week, Matt Hardy is becoming more and more of a prick. And I love every second of it. Matt Hardy's one of those one of those superstars that can do extremely well as both a face and a heel. But if I have to choose between him being a face and him being a heel, Matt Hardy as a heel is incredible. Like it's just something about him that works so well of him being a bad guy. Matt Hardy as a bad guy, Matt Hardy as a major a-hole is amazing. Amazing. I love what AEW is doing with Matt Hardy. And even Private Party is not sure if they're doing the right thing with associating themselves with Matt Hardy. But I really, really like that. It really makes Private Party more unique a little bit. But that's just my opinion. But heel Matt Hardy is the best Matt Hardy in my opinion. Matt Hardy does an incredible job being a major prick. And I love every second of it. Okay, like don't get me wrong. I love Matt Hardy as a face, but Matt Hardy as a heel is on another level. Okay, Matt Hardy as a heel is like Randy Orton being a heel. Okay, that's how good Matt Hardy is as a heel. Okay, so I thought this was a small segment between Matt Hardy and a Private Party, but I think AEW was just trying to showcase Matt Hardy being more of a prick, which they are succeeding very, very well, and I am loving every second of it. So that's all I got to say on that. Then we get to our next segment, the Inner Circle New Year's resolutions. Basically, the Inner Circle saying their New Year's resolutions. So they all come out. Chris Jericho and MJF are now considering themselves as a tag team. And then of course Santana and Ortiz takes offense to that because they were the down to right tag team for the Inner Circle. And then Sammy Guevara interjects, calling Chris Jericho a tag team slut. A tag team slut. And oh my God, I left my ass off. Because, first of all, it was funny because it was out of nowhere. And secondly, he's kind of right. Like, first, Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara were a thing. Then, all of a sudden, he was tag team with Jake Hager, which they only had like 1 or 2 matches together. Then, all of a sudden, Jericho and MJF are a tag team. Yeah, I feel like Sammy Guevara definitely hit the mark with that saying. But then, all of a sudden, a match was made for next week. Santana and Ortiz versus Chris Jericho and MJF versus Sammy Guevara and Jake Hager. And the winner becomes the tag team of the Inner Circle. And I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty random. Pretty random. And this, don't get me wrong, these are 6 really great talents, and I know they're gonna blow it out the park next week. But is this matchup really necessary though? Like I get the story being played out and MJF trying to ruin the Inner Circle from within, like trying to break up the Inner Circle. But I feel like they could have gone other way around with it. Like of course I want Santana and Ortiz to win next week because they are great as a tag team. Great as a tag. There's no reason for them to split them up. It doesn't make any sense. Santana and Ortiz should stay as a tag team and should obviously win next week. But this matchup shouldn't even exist in the first place. So, yeah, usually, like, AEW has been on a roll lately, but I'm not the type of person that like say, oh my God, AEW is perfect. AEW is incredible. AEW, don't you talk crap about AEW. AEW is perfect. No, I love AEW. I love AEW. I think AEW, in my opinion, is doing much better than WWE, and that's just my opinion. But like even then, I do have to admit AEW does have some problems here and there, and this is one of them. I do not know why they're doing this matchup, even though Santana and Ortiz are obviously the ultimate tag team of the group. So that's the match is happening next week. I'm sure they're gonna put up one hell of a matchup, but I feel like they could have gone so many ways with this, and I'm like I get the story and what they're trying to say, and I'm not like the story hasn't been bad so far, but I feel like they with this matchup happening next week, I feel like this storyline just hit an unnecessary roadblock, which is not good. So yeah, that's all I got to say on that. So after that, we get a segment with the Dark Order, and of course, it has been announced that next week, Hangman Adam Page will team up with Colt Cabana, Alex Reynolds, and John Silver of the Dark Order as they go against. Honestly, I kind of forgot who they're going against, but they're going against a couple of wrestlers next week on AEW Dynamite. And they're teasing really hard that next week Hangman Adam Page might make his decision whether or not he would join the Dark Order. And like I like Hangman Adam Page joined the Dark Order. Like I'm not against the idea. Like honestly, I think it would give the Dark Order way more light. Like having a superstar like Hangman Page in your group, like that's a really big deal. But I hope that this is not a permanent thing. I hope Adam Page would not be like a permanent member of the Dark Order. But I don't mind being with the Dark Order a little bit. I think it would be interesting. Plus, it would give the Dark Order something to do. That's just my opinion on that. But there's that segment. Then we get to the Elite, and probably the most interesting part about this show. So the Elite is in action tonight, as it was originally scheduled supposed to be Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks going against Danny Limelight and the Varsity Blondes, Brian Pillman Jr. and Giff Garrison. So Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks were going to do like a together entrance. But then Don Callis told the Young Bucks to stay, let Kenny Omega do his entrance first, and you do the second entrance. So Kenny Omega makes his entrance. He's out, and he's in the ring. And instead of Don Callis bringing out the Young Bucks, he instead brings out Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson, the Impact Tag Team Champions. And, of course, they take the place of the Young Bucks, and they show like a little, like a side screen, and they show the Young Bucks like they're really salty and really pissed off by this, and I don't blame them. I honestly don't blame the Young Bucks. So they're pissed off, and then they go off screen, and then the match happens. The 6-man tag team match. And honestly, I thought this was a really great matchup. Now, I originally thought that this was going to be a squash match, like Omega, Gallows, and Anderson destroying these guys, but Danny Limelight and the Varsity Blondes held their own against Omega, Gallows, and Anderson. But even their best weren't enough, as Kenny Omega, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson pick up the victory over Danny Limelight and the Varsity Blondes. And I thought it was a really, really good 6-man tag team match. I liked it. I thought all 6 men did a really great job. And then, so after the match, Jon Moxley came out. He's ready for a fight. And And then basically all hell breaks loose. So John Moxley comes into the ring, attacks both Omega, Gallows, and Anderson, but of course gets attacked because it's 3-on-1. But then all of a sudden, Pentagon Jr. and Ray Felix came out and then tried to help John Moxley out, and those six men started to brawl. Then some random AEW jobbers and security tried to separate the superstars. Then the Young Bucks came out trying to beat the peacekeepers of the situation, telling John Moxley to calm down. But of course, John Moxley ignored, pushes the Young Bucks. So the Young Bucks were going to super kick John Moxley, but then Pentagon Jr. and Ray Felix super kicked the Young Bucks, taking them out. And while all of this was happening, Kenny Omega and Don Collins retreated, and just them, leading everyone else to defend for themselves. I thought this was incredible. The match was incredible, and what happened after was incredible because it really does multiple things. Like it sets up future major matches, and it definitely sets up the matches for the next couple of Dynamites. Like I can definitely see the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Bros like next week, or Gallows and Anderson versus the Lucha Bros, or John Moxley versus Carl Anderson. Like they can go in like so many directions with this, which I really, really like. And I thought this was great. And you know how I am with chaos. I love chaos, especially when it's done correctly. And I feel like this chaos was definitely done correctly. So I definitely like this segment. I love this brawl. I thought all of that was well done. Very well done. Then we get to our old school show, The Waiting Room, with your host, Britt Baker, and the special guest being none other than Cody Rhodes. First of all, I want to talk about the waiting room. And I think it's cool. I think it's incredible. Like the waiting room kind of reminds me of them old school like WWF shows, like the Snake Pit, Piper's Pit, the Funeral Parlor. Like it reminds me of those shows. It has like a studio setup with has his thing, has it make it look like it's like Brit's show. And I like that. I really like that. And it really gives that like old school show vibe. And I really, really enjoy that. So Cody Rhodes is the host. And then all of a sudden, Jay Cardhill comes into the show and comes face to face with Cody Rhodes. And Jay Cardhill talking so much back to Brandy Rhodes. And I could definitely see that at Revolution, which is the first pay-per-view for AEW, they're definitely building up a matchup between Brandy Rhodes and Jay Carhill, or at least some type of variation for that matchup. So Jake Carhill talking crap about Brandy, saying that she wants Brandy in the ring, and of course disrespect Cody Rhodes as well. But then Red Velvet, one of Brandy Rhodes' friends, comes into the show, comes face to face with Carhill, and both of these ladies started a brawl. Both ladies beated the living hell out of each other. So I would not be surprised if both of those ladies have a matchup next week between those two. But then after that brawl happened, Thunder Rosa made an appearance on the Titantron, and Rosa broke the news to Britt Baker that at the AEW special Beach Break, it would be Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker for the first time ever. And I am excited. Like, I'll give AEW this. If AEW does anything right, is these like AEW TV specials. Like they always make these TV specials as important as possible. And I really like appreciate AEW doing that. And the fact that we're getting Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker at Beach Break, I think is going to be incredible. Personally, I wish they could have saved it for Revolution because it's like the biggest women's like division storyline right now. So, and I feel like that they still might have a matchup at AEW Revolution. What? And I feel like something scummy or something controversial might happen at the AEW TV special, but that's just my opinion. But either way, I think Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker are going to put up one hell of a match. One hell of a match. And I cannot wait for their first encounter at the TV special AEW Beach Break. Then we get to our next match. It is Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt of Jurassic Express going against Dax and Cash. Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, FTR, accompanied by Tully Blanchard. And I thought this was going to be like a filler matchup, and I thought this matchup was going to end like 5 minutes. But honestly, this was a great match. Like, this was a great tag team match. And like, it wasn't as in the caliber of like Omega Hangman, like Young Bucks, or like Young Bucks versus FTR at Full Gear. But this was still a great matchup. And this was honestly the best performance I have ever seen from Marco Stunt. Like, Marco Stunt was a star tonight. Like, this man put up a great performance. A great performance. Like, out of his career in AEW so far, this was Marco Stunt's best performance. And it really goes to show how amazing, like, it really goes to show that FTR is one of the greatest tag teams, not just in AEW, but in professional wrestling as a whole right now, because they can make anyone and any tag team look incredible. And that is exactly what FTR did. They made Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt look incredible. This was such an incredible match. A really great matchup. And this was honestly the best performance I have ever seen from Marco Stunt. Very well done by all four teams. FTR picks up the victory over Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt. Then we get to our next match. Serena Deeb defending the NWA Women's Championship against Ty Conti for the NWA Women's Championship. And this is another great match. Both ladies did an incredible job. Like, both ladies are extremely technical. And, like, if you like technical wrestling, especially from the women, I recommend you check this matchup out because this matchup is incredible. Incredible stuff from both ladies. I really love the technical aspects of this matchup. Like, they were doing like arm bars and like ankle locks. And like, both ladies are really great at their craft. And both ladies did a great job with tonight. But Serena Deeb, after an incredible matchup between these two ladies, Serena Deeb picks up the victory, retaining her NWA Women's Championship. Then we get to our main event. Darby Allin defending the TNT Championship against Brian Cage of Team Taz. I'm just going to say it. This matchup was a match of the year candidate matchup. Some of you might agree, some of you might not agree with me. Some of you might be flat out confused right now. But, like, this is, in my opinion, a match of the year candidate. And here's why. Now, obviously, it's not the match of the year candidate like you think, because the match wasn't long and it wasn't like a technical masterpiece. But it was the storytelling. it was the storytelling that made this matchup great. Like right off the bat, Darby Allin was just being destroyed. Like he was being destroyed 90% of the match. Like he was busted open. Brian Cage, I shit you not, even threw Darby Allin to the ringskeeper table. And the ringskeeper table was just shattered. And I thought that was an amazing spot. Like Cage like yeet, just like threw him like he was like a freaking trash can. And just, oh my God, such an amazing spot. But then Darby Allin just kept fighting, but Brian Cage was just destroying him, like destroying Darby. Of course, Darby Allin got some offense here and there, but it was just Cage destroying him. But then Darby Allin started to pick up some steam in the end of the matchup. And there was one point where Darby Allin drop kicked Brian Cage to the steel steps. And of course, Brian Cage was laying down those steel. And then Darby Allin did the coffin drop using his entire body, taking down Brian Cage temporarily, which I thought it was another great segment. Like, this was an all-around great match. And Sting actually did something. He actually did something other than standing around next to Darby Allin. So in the final few minutes of the matchup, Ricky Starks interfered, taking down Darby Allin, but then all of a sudden Sting came out and literally beat the shit out of Darby Allin with a bat. He demolished him with the bat. And of course, Brian Cage was distracted. Darby Allin with the roll up. 1, 2, 3. Darby Allin is still your TNT champion. And the reason why I say it's the match of the year caliber is because of the storytelling. First of all, I like the fact how they made Darby Allin he wasn't he didn't have much offense, but I like the story on how they made Darby Allin a resilient champion. It doesn't matter how much pain was thrown into him. He always kept coming back. And which I really, really like. And at the same time, really protected Brian Cage as a monster. And even after he lost, I still felt like Brian Cage was still a monster. AEW did an incredible job making Darby Allin a great champion, but also keeping Brian Cage as a major monster, a major threat. And both men were extremely protected in this matchup, and I personally love the storytelling. Mainly, it's the storytelling on why it is a match of the year candidate, because you don't it's so good. It was so well executed, because even though it was just a simple story of David versus Goliath, I think personally, in my opinion, this is the best example of David versus Goliath, because the matchup was so well produced. Both men were protected at the end. The storytelling was top notch. I enjoyed it. There was no botches at all. Both men did an incredible job. The story was there. The moments were there, and it was so good. Was it a technical masterpiece? No. Was it a long match? No. They only had 25 minutes to do their thing. But within their 25 minutes, they did such an incredible job. Such an incredible job. And I think AEW should be awarded for that. And Darby Allin and Brian Cage should be extremely proud of themselves with what they did. This is personally one of my favorite matches of 2021 so far. One of my favorite matches, hands down, because the storytelling was so well done. And the action was just so well done. And an incredible way to end New Year's match night 2. And that's what I got to say on that. Overall, I thought it was a really good show. There was things here and there where I didn't like, or I was like, but overall, I still like this show. Like, I still say that night 2 is definitely better than night 1. Like, not to say that night 1 was bad, it definitely had some great stuff, especially Omega versus Felix, which is also another match of the year candidate. But night 2 was better because, in my opinion, because of the grudge match between Pac and Kingston, the 6-man tag team match with the Elite, and the Serena Deeb Ty Conti match, the FTR Jungle Boy Marco sub match. I feel like they had like better matches tonight than night 1. That's just like most of the matches tonight were consistently good tonight, which I could really appreciate. Overall, I thought this was a really good show. Amazing show. I honestly enjoyed myself like 100% through. So I want to know what you guys think in the comments section. Did you guys like tonight's show? Did you guys not like tonight's show? Was there a thing you liked? Was there a specific thing you didn't like? I want to know what you guys think in the comments section, okay? And of course, this is my only rule on this channel. Do not be an asshole in the comment section. Okay, this is like an opinion judging free zone. Okay, whatever you want to say it. Okay, I don't want you to be scared saying your opinion. Okay, if you got an opinion to say it. Okay, and don't be assholes in the comment section. Of course, that's a lot to ask for, especially nowadays. But come on, try to be civilized in the comment section. But I want to know what you guys think in the comment section. Did you guys like the show? Did you guys not like the show? Was there a specific thing you like or a specific thing you didn't like? I want to know what you guys think in the comment section. But if you guys like this video, make sure you leave a like. Make sure you leave a comment. And if you guys like this video, I make multiple, like I make a video or two a day. Like just today, I made 2 videos. And of course, I make videos on not just wrestling, but just things in pop culture here and there. And this week is definitely going to be a big week for my channel because I got a couple of videos for you guys. Of course, I got a video on why Bianca Belair should win the Royal Rumble in the women's side. Of course, I'm going to make a video on why Bruce Pritchard should be fired from creative. Okay, and of course I got a couple more videos, so make sure you look out for those videos here and there. And again, if you guys like this video, make sure you leave a like, make sure you leave a comment, and if you guys like the content here on this channel, make sure you subscribe and don't forget to ring the notification bell so that way you don't miss any of my videos. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope everyone has a nice rest of the night, and I will see you next time. This is Gabriel, and I will see you next time in the asylum.